I think the only way to kind of circumvent what this thing is doing to us is to completely like decolonize our reality. And for most people, that's something they can't even, if they don't even know how deep they are into the thing to even know what to fight back against. But the answer is really everything. It's everything that you do, everything that you are, the language that you speak, the clothes that you wear, the thoughts that you think, the way that you view love, the way that you view yourself, the way that you view your art, the way that you view land, the way that you view animals, the way that you view God. All of it's been affected by these things, by colonialization, by imperialism, and by capitalism, and literally how you value yourself, unless you are a person who has made it their business to kind of reject these things and to operate in a way that circumvents these things. If you grew up in a strong community around folks who know who they are and understand the things that they are, you maybe only have to interact with these things here or there, but the majority of us were born into this and consumed by it, and built our whole existences and our self-worth around colonial understandings. And over the last few years, I've been seeking freedom from what at the time I did not know was this thing. I just thought it was people or circumstances or environments or whatever it is. And as I've been on this journey, I have not really found all of the freedom that I would like, but I feel myself getting further and further away from the mentality and the thoughts and the behaviors and the understandings that I had from before, that I now know are directly connected to a colonial understanding and connected to the parasitic nature of whiteness, how I view myself, how I view other black people, how I view the world, and how all of us view the world and ourselves, and black people and brown folks and white folks, right, quote unquote white folks, has all been affected by this thing. And the way that you see love, the way that you see partnership, the way that you see gender, the way that you see sex, the way that you see everything has been deeply, deeply informed by this, by people that are just trying to mine you and turn you into a battery and exploit your labor and exploit your ideas and your cultural exports and your cultural understanding to wear as a costume and to make money off of. And the only kind of hope that I have for people to hold on to some form of who they are losing is to completely divest from these systems in every single way possible. Because if we don't, everything that we love about ourselves will cease to exist. And I already see it now. Like, I see people making more and more, like, nostalgia is rampant on the internet at the moment. It has been the last few years, and it's saying something. And it's saying something culturally about what we're all experiencing, is that we're hitting this point in late stage capitalism where there's not much left to pull from. And so that's why people are mining our data, and tech companies and all these things. They're just mining our habits, our attention, our interests, because they have nothing else to take from us, and they've taken everything else. And we're not exporting anything new. We're not creating anything new. We're just rehashing over and over and over again. We've done the 90s, we're doing the 90s again. We're doing the 2000s again. We've done the 70s again. Like, we're just doing these things again. There's no newness. There's no true newness anymore, because it's all being mined. It's all being commodified. And I don't know. I just think about growing up black in the South. I think about what that looked like, what that smelled like, what that, sounded like the music, the food, the people, the personalities, the aesthetics of that, and even the word using aesthetics to describe fucking culture is stupid. You see what I'm saying? But it's like we're all caught up in this shit. But it's like I'm looking at that shit, or I look back at that shit and I think about my life and I think about the old photos and home videos and all things that I know are real, and I look around, I don't see none of this shit no more. I don't see none of these cultural things existing in the way that they used to. And then I look at the media and I don't see it existing there. And I look at the music and I listen to music, I hear all these things. I don't really see it there as often either. And it feels like it's dissipating and dissipating, and what it's being replaced with is the aesthetics and the ideas and the morals and the creativity of colonial shit, of whiteness. When you look at houses that used to have so much flavor and culture and just little knickknacks and all these things that were like cultural African American touch points, I don't see none of this shit no more. I see everything's being built flat and gray and white and empty, and that is what is being applauded in every aspect of everything, in music, in film, in culture. It's just, how do we not offend anybody? How do we keep this as flat as possible? And and I see that like happening to people's personalities. I see that happening to people's like dress and style. I see that happening to people's ideas and what they think and what they feel. And I think that just makes us prime for what they're trying to do to us. And if we don't push against that by being as indigenous as we actually are, is like loving each other, loving the land, loving the things that make us different, loving uh, our backgrounds, loving our weirdness, loving all of the extra things, we're just gonna be like white and gray. We're just gonna be flat and boring, and we're not going to add anything to the world anymore. We're not going to add anything culturally cool. We're not going to add anything. Uh, we're not going to advance anything anymore. We're not going to inspire anybody anymore. We're just going to inspire people to fall in line. And we're going to become sheep, and so many of us already are. But I think it's going to look gross. I think it's going to look. I mean, it's already dystopian, but it's going to look gross and flat and empty and dystopian. And I think everything that makes us who we are is the sum of all of this different stuff. And we're losing all of that.